You're listening to The Supreme Show with who? Me, Supreme, aka Big G, the brother with the platinum voice that'll put you to sleep. So listen, like, and subscribe. And oh, don't forget to drop a comment. Peace. Peace, party people, peace. This is your boy Kareem Supreme 70D. Coming live from the 585. That's the Frederick Douglass City, Rochester, New York. Years ago on this day, March 3rd. If you don't remember, that was the day that Rodney King was beaten to a pulp by some racist white cops, and they eventually got off. But I want to break down what led up to that. Well, not what led up to that. I want to break down the warnings that the hip-hop community was trying to give us. And this was before internet, so the best way we communicated from coast to coast was not by telephone. It was via music, or via music, however you want to say it, VIA. Yeah, rappers was putting out songs or skits, 4 or 5 years before the Rodney King beating, especially West Coast rappers. They were warning us and filling us in on what was going on in California. And then the same things was going on in New York too. You had New York rappers, giving us the heads up on police brutality. Most notably in 1988, NWA came out with Straight Outta Compton. That album dropped in August of 1988. I'll never forget it. And they was talking about, they touched on police brutality, and they had a song called F the Police. That was August of 1988. Now, a lot of revolutionary events seems to take place in August. I want to quote my brother Tariq Nasheed. He said it's something about the month of August that charges black people's melanin, and it makes us revolt and rebel, because the Haitian Revolution happened in the month of August. The Nat Turner Rebellion happened in the month of August. Excuse me. And the Jackson Brothers prison revolt, the Soledad Brothers, that happened in the month of August. And it's no coincidence. It's something about the month of August that charges black people's melanin. And like I said, Straight Outta Compton was released August of 1988, and F the Police was a huge song, and it was talking about police brutality in that song. They was letting us know, they was letting the listeners know what's going on in South Central LA. This is 1988, three years before the Rodney King beating. So now, I want to fast forward to 1989. Now, the summer of 1989, Spike Lee put out a movie called Do the Right Thing. And then Do the Right Thing, towards the end, the police put Radio Raheem in a chokehold and killed him. And they gaffled up Bugging Out. They threw him in the back seat and was gaffling him with the Billy Club. Police brutality. And right before they burnt down Sal's pizzeria, they started calling out all the names of the victims of police brutality cases. They mentioned Eleanor Bumpers, Michael Stewart, and a few others I can't remember. But anyway, I'm gonna do a video about the subliminal messages and Do the Right Thing too. But check this out. Now, I don't want to lose you guys. Let me get back to my point. Now, August 1989. That's the year I'm talking about. 89. Okay. KRS-One drops an album called The Blueprint. Now, that was a revolutionary album. You know, he was being brutally honest. And he had a song on there called Who Protects Us From You? And he was talking about the police, the powers that shouldn't be, racists, mainly the police. Who protects us from you? That was a deep song in the black community. If you haven't heard it, you need to check it out. And if you haven't heard that album in a long time, you need to add it to your collection. It was off the Blueprint album, Boogie Down Productions. Who protects us from you? Yeah, that's an unanswered question to this day. Well, nobody don't protect us. Don't nobody protect us from you know who. So, but still, they can't even answer that question. But anyway, fast forward to the summer of 1990. Wait, let me back up to 1989. August 1989. I said the Blueprint drop, Boogie Down Productions Blueprint drop, but also in 1989, Yusef Hawkins was killed. He was slain by a mob of racist white boys. I think it was in Bensonhurst, because Public Enemy mentioned that they mentioned that in that song "Welcome to the Terror Dome," when he said when Chuck D said, "I can't understand." Well, no, he said, "Can you understand a mother's pain of her son slain in Bensonhurst? Can't wait for the state to decide the fate. So this jam I dedicate." He was talking about Yusef Hawkins. And okay, now let me move to 1990. I mean, that was a revolutionary year. You had Public Enemy with Fight the Power. X-Clan came out with not Fight the Power, Fear of a Black Planet. They dropped Fear of a Black Planet. X-Clan, they came out with To the East Blackwards. But NWA comes out with an EP called 100 Miles and Running. That was in August of 1990, and they were warning us again. They were filling us in again on police brutality. Because on that song 100 Miles and Running, you know, they was running from crooked officers. You know, MC Ren had a voice, not a voice. He had a verse where he said, "I'm getting jacked by the you know who." He was like, "My chances are usually not good. Getting frisked with my head on a hot hood. I'm getting jacked by the you know who." He was talking about getting jacked by the police. You know, they beat you up. It's already hot down there and out there in California. Make you get on that hot hood. Put you in handcuffs and make you lay on the hot hood of their car. They know it's hot. They don't care because you black, and they just don't care. They want to torture you. They crooked. Anyways, on that 100 Miles of Running EP, they had a Fuck the Police Part 2. A lot of people don't know that. It's called Surprise Part 2. You know? Check that out. Add that EP to your collection. It was deep. These guys were prophesizing. You know, and the FBI wanted to shut them all down because they was telling the truth. They was predicting what was about to happen. Like, we heard it, but we didn't really know how serious it was. You know, we were young, you know what I mean? We heard of police brutality, but we didn't feel it like how they felt it, you know? Some of them were victims of police brutality. I'm talking about these rappers and entertainers. You know, Ice Cube was talking about how, the police, pull you over, tear up your car, searching for the product, thinking every nigga is selling narcotic and all that stuff. You saw it in the movie Straight Outta Compton and what have you. So, also in 1990, X-Clan came out, I think it was like the spring of 1990, but they had a song on there called A Day of Outrage. And it was also talking about police brutality. And they mentioned Yusef Hawkins, and Professor X was like, "Hey, you dick with a nightstick. Here's a Nat Turner lick." Hey, you dick. Here's a nightstick. Hey, you dick with a nightstick. Here's a Nat Turner lick. To the Crossroads, Yusef. You know, that was deep. Add that album to your collection too. Now, moving into 1991, March 3rd, 1991, Rodney King, he takes a serious beat down for nothing, basically. They said he was driving while intoxicated. Okay, had he been white, they just would have gave him a ticket, you know, and let him go on about his business. But no, they took it to the extreme. They took it to the extreme, you know. But luckily, somebody caught it on film. Now, this was the day and age before cell phones and camera phones and all that. Somebody just so happened to catch it on film, and I'll never forget it. March 3rd was on a Sunday. I was about 10 years old. That Monday, I woke up, and I'll never forget. I looked out the window, and it looked like heaven, because we had a major ice storm. Ice Storm 91. It could have been that Tuesday, the 2nd, but I believe it was that Monday morning when I woke up and I saw all the ice on the trees. Everything was just shining. It was beautiful, but the aftermath was costly. A lot of people lost homes. You know, we were out of school that whole week. Now, I believe it was that Wednesday, the 7th, I believe, March 7th, 1991. That whole week I was home alone because my parents were at work. So I would get up, you know, didn't have school because of the ice storm. Everything was closed down. But luckily we had power, you know, and our phone worked. So what I would do, I'd get up and watch cartoons, you know, and that particular morning when I got up, I turned on the TV. I believe it was CNN or Good Morning America or something like that. And they were showing this black man on tape getting beat. They were watching it over and over and over and over. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? And like the first thing that came to my mind was the lyrics I had heard from NWA, Boogie Down Productions, and Main Source. They had a song called "A Friendly Game of Baseball," and in that song they was talking about police brutality. It's called "A Friendly Game of Baseball." It was on the Boys in the Hood soundtrack, and it was on their album Breaking Atoms. That was a deep song. They broke baseball down to a science. They broke it down, and somehow they added police brutality into baseball. It was a dope combination. You got to check it out. You got to check it out. It's called "A Friendly Game of Baseball." But Rodney King took a severe beating. They broke his jaw. They tried to kill him. And then the case goes to Supreme Court or whatever. And you already know the ending. The white boys got off. April 92. You know, the white boys got off scot-free, and they were getting cheered on. It was a terrible time in 1992. It was a terrible time, man. It was riots everywhere. All hell broke loose. Mainly in California, but it was riots here in Rochester, New York. I remember I was on the bus, and I was on the school bus, and some kids tried to flip the bus over. I'm like, man, y'all ain't gonna flip the bus over when I'm on here. So I jumped out the emergency exit. I get downtown, man, and a lot of people was rioting and looting. People was just pissed off. People was just pissed off because not only did March 3rd, 1991 shake up the world with the Rodney King beating, you also got to remember, like 2 weeks after that, Latasha Hollins got killed by a Korean store owner. Now that's a whole separate video. I'm gonna do a video about that in about on her death anniversary in about 2 weeks on March 16th. But leave a comment, man. If y'all want to add on and address something, just leave a comment, and we could build, chat, or whatever. Peace.
Rodney King, Martin Luther King,